Hey guys, what's happening? Ross from Warrior Trading here. It's a picture of me up in the top. I have exciting news for you guys. Last month, I funded a $1,000 trading account with SureTrader as an experiment to see how quickly I could grow this account and how much money I could make in 4 weeks of trading. All right, I wanted to see in 4 weeks with a small account what was possible using the strategies taught in our day trading course. That means I'm trading only 2 hours a day, 9:30 to 11:30 Eastern Time. I'm trading stocks primarily under $10 that are gapping up with news, and I'm only trading the best setups. That means bull flags and flat top breakouts, and maybe a couple red to green moves. 90% of the traders who try to do this will fail. And they'll fail not because they're not trying hard, but simply because they're not using the right tools, they don't know the right strategies, they don't have an education, and they fail to manage risk. In contrast, we did a survey of our last day trading course students, and we found that over 80% were trading profitably after taking the course. All right, you can see right here, before taking the course, a little under 25% were making money in the market. And then after taking the course, over 80% were profitable. That is success. That makes us feel so good about what we're doing. And the reality is, a lot of our students start with very small accounts. And it's been a long time since I traded in a small account. So I want to test it out, see if I still have what it takes to grow a small account. So I funded my SureTrader account with my credit card. And the next day, it was ready to trade. And in 4 weeks, I made $7,600 of profit for a 760% return on a $1,000 starting balance. We're going to go through the trades. I'm going to go into SureTrader. They're all verified. If you have any questions, you can email me, ross@warriortrading.com. This for me was a real challenge. I didn't expect to be as challenged by it or as frustrated at times as I was. We'll go over some of the challenges that I faced, some of the things I learned early on, and we're going to go over each day of trading. But first, we'll just take a big, kind of large brushstrokes approach and look at the total profit. So $7,600 of total profit, average daily gain, $425. Largest single trade gain, a little over 1,000. Largest loss, $221. Percentage of success was, just about 60%. I traded most successfully on the first 30 minutes of each day. And you can see right here, this was my equity curve, starting the first 2 days going red, coming through the open, breaking through the $1,000 mark, and making my way up slowly as I pushed over $7,500 of profit. Now, at the beginning of the challenge, I knew the first week was going to be the most difficult, and that's why it was so disappointing that I lost on my first 2 days. So here's the deal with SureTrader. SureTrader will let you open a day trading account with a minimum of $500. I started with $1,000. $500 is a little too low in my opinion. Any broker in the United States, whether it's E-Trade, Ameritrade, Lightspeed, they require you to maintain a $25,000 minimum balance. And that's out of the question for over 50% of our students. So a lot of our students trade with SureTrader, and for them it's been a great opportunity to trade the markets and grow their small accounts until they're able to open a proper account in the United States. Now, the only reason you wouldn't want to trade with SureTrader long term is because the commissions are high. And in fact, for me, they represented over 25% of my total profit. With a gross profit of $10,000, I had to give 25% of it to the broker. And that's not sustainable long term. If you make $100,000, you don't want to give 25,000 back to them. But for me, based on this trajectory over the course of a year, that'd be $120,000 in profits. I would be giving over $25,000, $30,000 back to them in commissions. That would be really substantial. So this is a great solution for someone who has a small account wants to trade the market and wants to build that account up as quickly as they can so they can go open a regular account with Speed Trader, Lightspeed, or E-Trade or wherever. Okay, now we're going to log in here to my SureTrader account and take a peek at my trades. I'm going to blur out the user ID. Okay, so I'm going to go over to trade history. I'm going to do, let's see, 17th, which was the first day that I traded in the account. And we're going to go, let's see, 4 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to the 11th. All right, and these are all the trades I took during that period. Now, this isn't really the easiest way to understand your profits or your losses. So what I do typically is I just track all my trades in an Excel doc. But what I wanted to do for this was really be completely accurate about it. So I downloaded this CSV file right here. You just download it. And then I signed up for TraderView. Now, when you go here, what you can do is you can import all of your trades. All right, so you import from SureTrader and you just browse, you put that file right there, you upload it, and then all your trades will be loaded. So let's see, trades view. So this is all my trades, the same ones that we just saw on SureTrader, starting on the 17th. All of these trades right here, going all the way down through the 11th. Okay, so that's all those trades imported here. Now the advantage of doing this is now we can start to pull some data out of all those numbers. All right, so we already know that I made $7,500. Okay, that's great. Well, let's look at the win-loss rate, things like that. What's your average winning day versus your average losing day, your percentage of success, your profit-loss ratios. All of that kind of stuff is going to help you refine your trading strategy and improve it. Okay, so I know, for instance, that my average hold time on winning trades is 9 minutes. My average hold time on losing trades is 7 minutes. And that makes sense because I'm a breakout or bailout trader. It's either going to go or I'm out of it. So the winning trades, I'll hold a bit longer. The losing trades, if it's not working right away, I'm out of it. Average gain, $149, not bad. We already looked at the average, or the biggest win, the biggest loss. So this stuff, average daily volume, 16,000 shares. Consecutive winning trades, the most was 7. Consecutive losses, the most was 4. Performance by day of the week. I did best on Wednesdays. It's kind of interesting. Performance by hour. I made the most money in the first hour of the day, right? The first hour of the day is when the market experiences peak volatility almost every single day. All right, so you can see here, that's doing some after hours stuff, but the overall market typically peaks in volume in the morning. So here we got a nice peak in the morning. Now, the SPY did get a nice little spike here around 1 p.m., and this was actually pretty high volume going into the close. But for most of the small caps that we trade, KTOV, they're most active in the morning, and then they see decreasing volume as the day goes on. Let's see. All right, so what I'm going to do here is we'll just go over each day of trading. Now, there's a few things that I learned right away. When I was first trading in my SureTrader account for the first week and a half, I was trading in both my SureTrader account and my Speed Trader account. And the reason is I knew that I wasn't going to be able to make much money in my SureTrader account because I didn't have the buying power. So with SureTrader, you get 6 times leverage. That means with my $1,000 balance, I had $6,000 of buying power, which is great. That means I can buy 1,000 shares of a $6 stock or 2,000 shares of a $3 stock. But there's some restrictions. You get no buying power on stocks under $3. So under $3, all I had was $1,000 of cash balance. All right, so that's a limitation. That means anything under $3 is almost At this point, not worth trading because the commissions are so high, I can't take enough size to make enough money to justify the trade. And then anything priced over $6, I can't even take 1,000 shares of. So that means my focus during the first 2 weeks of trading was stocks between $3 and $6. And really something between 3 and 350 is where I could make the most money because it's where I could take the most size. And I actually made a hotkey that was buy 90% of my buying power. This is a little on the aggressive side. It's about as aggressive as you can get. But the reason I did this is because this is a small account. It's $1,000. And I know that it probably takes some people a good amount of time to save up $1,000. But at the same time, if you blow it up, it's not the end of the world. You wouldn't be the first person that's blown up a $1,000 trading account. You certainly won't be the last. It happens. But you're not going to grow this account if you're not being aggressive. So being aggressive is how I built this up. It's how I made 750% in 4 weeks of trading, using my hotkey, buying 90% of my buying power. So that means my buying power is $6,200 right here. I'd be loading the boat basically, taking as many shares as I can that equals 90% of the buying power. Okay, so on this particular day, accuracy was a little poor, didn't really get much profit. I was up $56 before commissions here. But look at that, commissions were over $200. And over $200 is $52,000 a year. So this is why you don't trade here long term. You trade as a short-term solution until you can build up enough money to go fund a proper $25,000 trading account, with Speed Trader. Day 2, the 18th, another day I made $100 before commissions. Okay, and this is why most traders will fail, because you can't just tread water. This is a day that with a Speed Trader account would have been break even. But because the commissions were so high, this was a losing day. So this is a day I felt, fell behind just a little bit, right? And falling behind just a little bit, you keep doing that day after day after day. Next thing you know, your account's gone. So I started on Monday, the 19th. No, sorry, this was Friday the 19th with $760. I'd given up 24% of my account. And I was honestly thinking this might be it. I might not be able to do this on the first try. And because my account was small, I was being a little careless. I was trading both in Speed Trader and Sure Trader. I had both accounts side by side. So the thing is, if I saw a good setup, I would take maybe 4,000 shares in my Speed Trader account and only 1,000 in Sure Trader because that's all I could take. So when I was up 20 cents with 4,000 shares, that's the account I was focused on, trying to sell, lock up that profit. Or if I was down, I was trying to manage it. And it meant that I wasn't really focusing on my Sure Trader account because the position size was smaller and it just wasn't the priority. So I decided going into the second week that I really needed to focus exclusively on Sure Trader because I was giving up profits by not selling when I was up a little bit, and I just wasn't giving it my full attention. So I decided going into week 2 that I would only trade in Sure Trader anything between like $3 and $10. If something was over $10, I would trade it in my regular account. And if it was below $3, I'd probably trade it in my regular account because I knew I just didn't have the buying power in Sure Trader. And that ended up working out pretty well. So I rallied a little bit on this Friday, making $392. But again, this really exemplifies the issue, which is half of my profits went to commissions. So on a winning day when I make 400, I only keep half. But on a losing day where I lose 400, you're going to have to add another 200. So you're actually down 600. Your losing days become bigger than your winning days, not by any fault of your own, but simply because of the commission structure. This is how the cards get stacked against you, and it's why it's so difficult for a new trader to succeed. All right, going into the next week, I started to rally, and I believe I had 4 consecutive green days, making $400 this day and trading a little bit less with really good accuracy, green on 4 names. Again, green on 3 names, small profits, but this is what you have to do to build up the equity and build up the buying power. All of these trades were gap and go setups. buying stocks right out of the open and scalping them. Okay, so that's a setup. You can see this KTOV, a squeeze out of the gates from $4 to $5. All right, we also got LEU, this one squeezed up just for a minute and then sold off. But you can see these are the types of things we're looking at, stocks that are gapping up and we want them to move higher. Okay, I had this trade on ORPN. This one I actually traded in my regular account, made $5,000 on it. Now I actually have 4 trading accounts. I've got an account with Lightspeed, I have an account with Speed Trader, I have an account with Speed Trader Pro, which is using a different clearing firm so you get more access to shorts, and then I have my Sure Trader account. All right, so this one I traded in 2 accounts for a total of $5,000 profit. Now I was able to make this much money because I used really big size. And the problem with trading in a small account is that you can't do that. So you're not going to get that one winner a week that gives you, $5,000. That's just not going to happen. You're not going to hit home runs. You're only going to hit base hits. So you have to be content with that for a long time. This was another solid day of trading. MNOV, I actually shorted this by accident. This was a hotkey screw up. So I got short by accident when I was selling this long position and ended up basically giving back my profit on the long position, which is annoying. But that's part of trading. You will make mistakes with your hotkeys. Some other issues I had a day where I lost power. My internet went down, I lost power, I came back up and I'm down on a position, right? That happens. It's a good thing to get an uninterrupted power supply if you can, or to get the mobile app so you can at least close out your positions remotely. But I didn't have either of those at the time, so I just wasn't prepared. But you want to try to prepare for some of those situations. All right, now this was Friday the 26th, small red day, and that is awesome to see. That my worst day of the week was a $21 loss. That shows I was managing risk. The market wasn't giving me anything, and I didn't force it. That's what we teach our students. Know when to be aggressive and know when to sit out and wait for the next best opportunity. The next best opportunity was Monday morning with almost $600 of profit before commissions. And now you can see my equity is building up and the buying power is going to be building up as well. Going into March, I've got $2,300 of equity, $18,000 in buying power. This was my biggest day so far in the challenge with over $1,000 before commissions. Now, this is an area where commissions were higher because I was starting to take bigger size. Right, 18,000 shares, $18,000, I was able to take, 4,000 shares and start to size up, but that ECN fee of $1.50 per 1,000 shares, that starts really eating into the profits a little bit more. Continuing along, we got an $1,100 day. This was really solid, just powering through. Another strong day, a little smaller, half the profits went to commissions, and I only had 1 loss. So I overtraded that day a little bit. BCEI, another kind of slow day, but that's okay. I'll take the slow days in between these nice big days. And now at this point, look, my equity is $5,000. All right, so I'm already up 400%. I've added $4,000 of profit, and my buying power overnight is $13,000, but during the day is 5 times 6. So I've got $30,000 in buying power. And that means I can start to take bigger size and be a little more aggressive. ASTC. This was a gap and go setup. All right, so we'll look at this. This is the setup where a stock is gapping up. You can see it on the daily chart back here on the 9th. I'm going to scroll this back a little bit. It's an easy setup and we see it all the time. And it's a great setup for building a small account. From $1.80 up to $3. That right there was a quick $1,200, almost $1,200. Just super solid. All right, we're going to mix in a clip here of live trading from the day I made that $1,200 on ASTC. So what I did here is I took my first trade right out of the gates at the $2 spot, and I only made about $60. It wasn't a very big winner, but that's okay. This is a small account, and my goal is to build my cushion each day. First, get myself into the green. So then I added back on the first pullback at 220, And you can see these big bids, the 20,000 share bids sitting in the 220s, 230s. Those are showing some real strength, which is good. That's exactly what we want to see. I'm reading the level 2. I'm pulling out the market sentiment just by seeing where we have big buyers and big sellers. My first target here is 250. I want to see this hit 250, but potentially break over 250. And what I'm going to do, now that we've come up and sort of tapped the high 40s and pulled back, I'm going to start to prepare to add for the move over 250. So I've got my 1,000 share limit order with a limit of 250. And I've got my mouse over the buy button, ready to press the buy button. Now, as soon as I get in, I'm going to expect a 15-cent pop because that's what often happens when these stocks break over half dollars and whole dollars. So when we get that pop, I'm going to use my hotkeys to put half of my position on the ask to sell half into strength. So we're going to watch the flow come through. There I doubled. There we got the break of the half dollar up to 270. I'm on the ask, selling half, locking up profit, adjusting my stop. My new stop is going to be break even. Anytime you add shares, you mess up your average. Your average cost becomes higher. But you do that because you know this has the potential to make a big move and you're still in the profit zone. So you add to your position, you tighten up your stop, and now you have the potential for a bigger winner with the same amount of risk that you were initially taking, which is awesome. So at this point right now, we're 7 minutes into the day, and I've locked up almost $600, which is just about 10% on this $5,700 account. That is a great day. If you can do that $500 a day, that's $100,000 a year, right? Now, that's obviously, in this case, a pretty good day. It's probably not sustainable that I'm going to do that every single day. But over the course of the 4 weeks, $7,500 of profit is not too bad. Now, a lot of traders might think, and especially new traders, that I'm making this look easy, right? And for me, it is easy because I have a lot of experience and I'm using the right tools. So let's think for a second. Now, I got back in here, and what I got back in for was the break over $3. I got in anticipation of that break on this 1 minute pullback. Now on this one I am going to get stopped out because it didn't go right away, and I'm a big fan of breakout or bailout. So now to step back, what I was starting to say is that you need the right tools for the job. I'm a big fan of using the best software available. So picture yourself with a $3,000 road bike. It is beautiful. It is one of the nicest bikes you could have, and you're going to go take it for a ride on the beach. Your tires are going to sink into the sand, and you're going to fall over the handlebars, and you're going to be really frustrated when you watch me ride by on a $100 bike that has big fat tires. I'm making it look easy, but you know what? It's not because I have a better bike. It's because I'm using the right tool for the job. You really need to match your skill set for what you're trying to do. You need the best training. We'll provide you the training. You need the best tools. We'll tell you which tools you need to be using. Trade Ideas, eSignal, SureTrader, or SpeedTrader. This is how you prepare yourself to be a success in the market. If you don't come prepared, you can't expect success. It's just as simple as that. So on this trade here, I've got my $600 of profit. I'm holding the 2,000 share position. It popped up a little bit, came back down, went red on me. Now, in this case, the only reason I let it go red on me is because I had a cushion on the trade. But I'm also feeling a little antsy because I really don't want to give back any profit. So as this comes back down here, I decide to bail out because I'm thinking, you know what? Better be safe than sorry. This thing is up a lot. I'll look to get back in over 290 because over 290 will be really, a clear shot for the $3 move. And gosh darn it, it comes right back up. So you know what? I'm back in, doubled up, and I'm going to put out my sell orders at 305. And in this one push, right, the break of the whole dollar, I'll lock up another $600 of profit. So there, I'm selling a little bit. I'm on the ask, trying to get out. Got my order there. It's sitting there. It's pending. Just waiting for it to fill. There go 2,000 shares. There goes another 1,000. I'm up almost $1,000 on the day. Stop is now just under $3. And this for me is going to be a great trade and a really solid day. All right, now we'll jump back to the next day on my challenge. All right, then 820 here before commissions, getting up to 68. And then the last day, $7,500 was my starting balance with almost an extra 1,000 in profit. V-sell. This one I was pretty aggressive on. This trade, this is when I started to realize you're going to have to ease back on that 90% of buying power hotkey because, let's go to this. Let's see, this was on the 11th. Okay, so remember the big gap here was on the 10th, but this was a stock that was a little tricky to trade because the day that we gapped, like LEU today, we were already moving up so much pre-market that when the market opened, I kind of knew it was going to be choppy, and it ended up not being that great. The next day, I was like, let's look at this for a break over yesterday's high. And I got in this, I used my hotkey, 90% of buying power, I had 8,000 shares. And immediately I was like, that's a little too heavy. This is getting a little intense. 8,000 shares is too much for this size account because something bad could happen. So, as soon as I was up, I started selling. And on this one, I was actually up a lot when it went up to 518, and I just couldn't sell it fast enough. So I ended up giving back some profit as it came back down. Took the $1,000, called it a green day, and said, good job, good work. And this right here, that $57 loss, was my only red trade of the week, of that whole week. Which, again, I mean, I had the advantage of good accuracy. I was just right on, and the markets were on my side. We were getting really good follow through, and that is important. You have to recognize that the market is not always going to be on your side. There are times where you have to sit back, not be too aggressive, and just wait for better opportunities. Okay, so the takeaway here is that you can be very profitable, as this is all showing you, trading 2 hours a day and starting with only $1,000 of equity. You don't need a lot of money. An extra $7,500 a month, an extra $90,000 a year trading for only 2 hours a day. We have a lot of students trading from other parts of the world. In the United States, if you've got your day job and it starts at 9 a.m., or you're on the East Coast and you got to go to work at 9 a.m., it's a problem. We've got a lot of California students who trade from 6:30 until 7:30, 8:30. They get their hour, 2 hours of trading, and then they go to their regular job. We have students in Australia. We have students in Europe. They trade in the evenings. They trade Eastern time in the U.S. market, and it's nighttime for them. So they're able to have another job and make an extra $7,500 or more a month just trading part-time. It doesn't take a lot of money. It just takes discipline. That's the biggest thing. You can see here that there's not a lot of room for error. Your commissions are high. You have to be accurate. You have to know when to be aggressive and when to sit out. So even though my accuracy, I guess, is only 64%, it felt higher, but, I guess I took some losses and I stopped out quickly on the losses, which is good because my biggest winners far exceeded my biggest losers. And that's very important for long-term success as a trader. The hardest part about this challenge for me was dealing with the tiny amount of buying power I had at the beginning. I wanted to take more size. I wanted to be more aggressive, and I couldn't. But after the first 2 weeks, I was able to increase my share size, and that's when we started to see those really, those quickly increasing profits. We'll go to the overview here. So you can see this equity curve. It's sloping up faster as we get, as my buying power increases. But inevitably, that also means that the losses could have gotten bigger. You know, that 8,000 share position, if it went the wrong way, that could have been a big setback. So you have to manage your risk and understand that as you get a bigger account, the potential for mistakes, can get higher because you have more money, and that can result in some big mistakes. So my daily volume on that last day was my peak volume in total shares, trading bigger and bigger and bigger size, until the end of the 4 weeks. I had several days with 100% success, which was awesome. But the problem is I started with 33% on the first day, 40% on the second day, 50% on the third day before I really kind of got into my zone. But look, if you're seeing the market and you're having a day where you're only up 40%, that's probably not the day to be super aggressive. That's a good day to just sit out. On the other side, if you're having a day where you're up 100%, accuracy is right on, that might be the time to be a little more aggressive. Now, you can go here into Trades View. No, actually, let's go to Journal View. And this will also show each day. I kind of like seeing it with the P&L screenshot from SureTrader, but you can also do it here where you look at this, and it gives you a little chart of, basically your profit. So I went straight up here, sideways, and then took another trade and was up. And you'll see almost every day was like that, with the exception of a couple days, like this day where I dipped down. I had another day where I went red a little bit. I did a little red to green move. This one, see, I dipped down and then I surged back up through the open. This one, this was the day that I was kind of not feeling it, up and then back down. Another day pretty much straight up, a little red to green here. This was actually one of the bigger reds, went pretty deep in the red there. Another red to green. It's not uncommon for the first trade to be a small loss. You just want to make sure you don't allow the loss to get so big that it puts you too deep in the hole for you to keep trading, where you either hit your max loss or you're just too emotional and stressed out to continue. All right, guys, so those are all my trades. You can see them in Trader View right there. These are all exported from SureTrader. Again, every trade I took was based on the strategies that we teach in the trading course. All right, so it's really simple. It's not complicated stuff. I'm trading the best setups, the bull flags, the flat top breakouts, the first pullback, the red to green moves. It's what we do every single day in the chat room. All right, so I'd love to have you join us. If you have any questions, you can always email me, ross@warriortrading.com. All right, thanks, guys.